were talking to KJ last night, and he was saying that you guys specifically as receivers have been kind of tasked with bringing those guys along. How are you guys trying to maybe ease that process for them this spring?
We actually learned a lot from Nate Sudfeld because last year we had some guys that were younger, and he was trying to bring us, and now it's just flipped. So they're getting better every day, but it's just taking a lot of encouragement. It's a long process. They have so much going on, so many different reads. So it's tougher for them to make the kind of strides that, say, a wide receiver could when you know you have this route on this play. There's just a lot more things going on, especially when we start going team. It's just a storm, bullets are flying. So they're just getting comfortable, but they've done a really good job. Watching a lot of film up there. Really good spring ball so far for them. Just excited to keep them coming.
Yeah, I was going to ask how that process of active engagement works. Are you doing this on the field and also in the film, or is it kind of all realms?
Yeah, it's especially because we don't have any time. Like, we need somebody that's going to come in the fall. So it's a constant in the morning, at night, in meetings, during the day, texting each other, find out what you're thinking on this play. And we got the film on the iPads now, so if I see this, I'm watching film, I'm texting Danny or Rich or Austin or any of the other quarterbacks, just seeing what they're thinking. So it's a constant growing process. There'll obviously be some growing pains just because we're all young, but we're getting it figured out, and every day we're getting better.
When did this all start? Was this something you guys maybe did in January, February to kind of get ready at this point, or is this something that happened recently?
Obviously with Danny and Austin King, it started last year, but it wasn't as intense and necessary as it is now. But as soon as day one, Rich was here, we got back from winter break, and Rich was in early. A couple of us were down here just trying to get a couple throws out of the way. We're going to need 1 million throws with whoever the starter's going to be and the backup too. So it's going to be a long process, but we've been going at it for a while and confident we can get to where we need to be.
Is there maybe more flexibility just looking at you guys as receivers? And coaches kind of talked about flexing some of the running backs out there just to kind of get them some experience catching the ball. Are you seeing maybe more flexibility with this offense right now?
Yeah, we're just trying to find different ways to do things. Kind of been doing not the same stuff, but what we've been doing has worked. We're just seeing if we can find something else that'll start working. So spring ball, just throwing different things out there, little wrinkles, see what this works against this, figuring it out. And with new quarterbacks, seeing what they like, seeing what they're comfortable with, finding ways to score points in the fall right now just by throwing little gadgets everywhere. So growing and learning, but just trying stuff.
Gotcha. How did the scrimmage go on Saturday? What did you see? What did you get out of it?
It was windy, so it was really good for the quarterbacks just to deal with it because the ball was getting hung up there. I remember I was just catching punts. The ball was coming and going and coming and going. It just made it really tough, so I can't imagine what it'd be like trying to throw a go ball 45 yards to a guy running full speed. It's just good for them to learn, just finding out, again, what works. They're just learning and growing. Nate had done it for 4 years, so he was settled into it. It's good for especially Austin King, who's just now starting to get some good reps. He's had a couple really good days together. Just learning where we're going to be, dealing with things, handling the bullets that are flying, and still having a command of the offense.
This is one of the worst stadiums in terms of wind because of the
It's different. Every team has to play in it, so it's not the worst, but the ball does get hung up there sometimes. I will say that. So it takes getting used to, and we'll see how they do with it.
What are you seeing out of a guy like Luke Timian? He's a guy, I guess, maybe found some momentum last season kind of down the stretch. What's kind of his role coming into the spring?
We're all trying to be as good as we can be, but I know he wants to start, just like everybody wants to start. So he's working extra hard. And again, we're all working. We're just one. I think I was talking about this last year. It's just really cool how tight all of us are. From the walk-on guys that are going to get here in the fall, they'll be welcomed into a just family where all of us want everybody to succeed. So I want Luke to score 1 million touchdowns, but just like I want Simi or Ricky. So it's exciting that he's growing. He's actually my roommate, so it's exciting. Yeah, it's exciting to see him grow and transferring from another school, getting comfortable here. But we're all pulling for each other. Really excited that we can all make plays, and we're deep at most of the spots.
Were you rooming with him last year too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was kind of that, I guess, transition, the progress he showed late in the year? Where did you start to see that maybe manifest itself in practice where you can get it up?
Yeah, I think it just coming from such a different place in the Big 12 at Oklahoma State. It's different here. It's bigger football. We throw it around a lot more, but most teams are more downhill. So getting comfortable blocking and being physical. Once he started realizing that that's the way it was going to have to be, he settled in. He's a physical kid.
Yeah.
He can move people. He got comfortable, started learning not just the plays, but where spots were open, where the quarterback wanted him. He started really coming into his own later in the year. It was good.
Guessing that was a pretty neat moment for him to kind of be there in that bowl game and actually.
It was awesome.
Make it.
It was awesome. Gives me chills thinking about it. Him and Nick Westbrook getting their first wins in the bowl game in Yankee Stadium was pretty awesome. Hoping we can get a lot more from them.
Yeah.
Big catch.
Oh, big catch. Huge.
Thanks, Paige. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
First of all, you got from a place like Oklahoma State to Indiana. What was that transition? How did you find Indiana?
Well, I got into contact with Coach Johns after I decided I was going to transfer, and you know, he really made me feel welcome here, and that he really wanted me, and that he told me he'd give me an opportunity, which is really all I wanted when I was going to come somewhere else. So that's basically it.
What was the transition for you? Just, I guess, getting here last year, acclimating last summer, and maybe easing into things early, midway through the season. How do you? What things had to change for you to kind of see the field? You know, I guess rise up the depth chart a little bit.
Right. Well, it's always difficult learning a new offense, and I had just previously, you know, tried to learn Oklahoma State's offense, and then so learning a second offense in 2 years was a little bit tough. So I felt like I struggled a little bit at the beginning, but then as the year progressed, I felt like I got a lot more comfortable and got into rhythm with Nate, and so I feel like that helped a lot.
Rhythm, I mean, were you playing maybe more physical too down the stretch? I mean, was that helped?
Yeah, absolutely. Playing faster once you know the playbook, and you feel comfortable with it, so playing faster, more physical, all that.
When did you, I guess, late in the year, when did you realize that maybe you could see the field and see some action down the stretch?
Well, whenever you're a backup, you always got to be patient because there can always be injuries. There can always be guys, you know, who get a little banged up and stuff like that. So you really just got to be patient and know your role and just be ready when your name's called.
I think you had a couple catches at Maryland. And
right.
Then, going into the Pinstripe Bowl, did you have any idea you'd be used in some of those situations going into New York?
A little bit, yeah. He, you know, he told me before the game that I'd be getting in there. So, like I said, just always be ready on the sideline when your name's called.
Yeah, I think, quite frankly, I think a lot of folks who were watching that game were like, "Look, Timian, where's this guy coming from?"
Right.
What was that moment? I mean, did you get? What was that moment? Just, you know, kind of emerging in that
yeah,
spotlight?
Definitely get your first touchdown. It was cool, and you know, being injured at Oklahoma State, that was tough because I had to sit out that whole year. And then didn't really get that much action until later in last year, and so yeah, getting that first touchdown is cool, especially in the bowl game.
What did that help you maybe propel you into the spring? Did that give you, you know, a little extra step, you know, getting into the spring, maybe coming out maybe a little more prepared, focused? You just having that experience like down the stretch.
Really confidence is the biggest thing. You know, knowing that you can do it as a young player definitely will give you confidence going into the spring.
What are some of the goals just coming into these next 2 weeks and closing spring out? What do you want to show these guys, you know, going into the summer?
Just really continue to play fast, and I know that my biggest thing I was going to work on is getting more physical. And you know, I'm playing out on the outside now, and I played inside mostly last year, so definitely got to be more physical in the Big Ten. There's a big corners, so that's probably the biggest thing, getting more physical.
Right on. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Kevin and KJ both been talking about some of the flexibility they're trying to get out of this offense this year. Said they've been maybe splitting you out wide a little bit. Can you just explain how that transition's going for you? What are you seeing out there, and what's a little new for you this spring?
It's going pretty well. I'm pretty decent at catching and my route running, but the thing for me is that I've got to understand the plays more, because at running back we only watch a few of the signals, and this I have to know the formations, move around a lot, and I've always got to know where I'm going. And I just have to know the plays more and just focus on the plays and stop thinking as much when I'm out there, because now I'm kind of hesitant. As a running back, I knew all the plays and could go out there and play with confidence, but now I just got to stop thinking less and just play.
And this isn't necessarily a position change for you. Is it more maybe geared to just getting you experience catching the ball? Is that kind of what it is?
Yeah, the coach said that he wants me to just know the position, because I know the running back pretty well. And the other guys like Devontae and Timian, they've been at receiver, so he wants them to stay at running back so they can learn it. And he wants me to know receiver pretty well, so in case they need to use me as a dual threat, then they can do so.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, just having the dual threat possibilities. It seems like there are more possibilities with yourself, and having Devontae back on offense, and even Timian too. Are you seeing maybe more flexibility, more options for this team maybe going forward with this offense?
So because we have a nice depth at running back, so we got a lot of guys who can play. So if our team needs guys to split out to maybe change like situationally, then we can do that.
Cool. Thanks so much, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.